Welcome to Real Estate Coaching Radio, starring award-winning real estate coaches and #1 international best-selling authors Tim and Julie Harris. This is the #1 daily radio show for realtors looking for a no BS authentic real-time coaching experience. What's really working in today's market, how to generate more leads, make more money, and have more time for what you love in your life. And now your hosts, Tim and Julie Harris.
Welcome back. This is Tim and Julie Harris, and this is your favorite daily real estate coaching and training podcast. We've got a very, I think, fun podcast for all of you today. It is Stop Waiting, Start Hunting, 6 Ways to Find Hidden Homes for Your Buyers. Now, I'm going to just hopefully educate all of you guys on the millions of ways you can use this. Obviously, you can use this as a checklist to find hidden homes for your buyers. But the second one that frankly, I'd be very interested in using this for if I were you, is video content, creating some social media around this and, pivoting the script in such a way that you're the one that's presenting it to your potential audience. Use AI to use Julie's notes that we've laboriously prepared for all of you in anticipation that you're going to be using this content for your own education, but also to help you create leads for yourselves. And the notes are free and our newsletter is free. To get our newsletter and the notes and a lot of other proprietary content just for the newsletter, you have to subscribe. Did I mention it's free? I don't remember. Just go to harrisrealestatedaily.com. The link is down below, or just go to harrisrealestatedaily.com. We are writing there's a lot of content that Julie and I want to share with you on the podcast, but we only have you for 30 minutes a day. And some of it would be difficult to present on the podcast. For example, different things with regards to, I just wrote an article on the fact that Google has changed something in your Gmail settings, which you don't know about. I didn't know about it. And it's now, Google is now reading every single message that you send. There's nothing private. I think everyone's assuming nothing was private in their Gmail, but nothing, even spreadsheets and things like that. It's opening and reading documents, anything and everything you have saved in your Google.
And there was no giving it permission to do that. It's just started doing it.
They changed the setting. And why are they doing that? Because you're helping to educate Gemini, which is their AI. So Google now has essentially involuntarily volunteered all of us, involuntarily volunteered all of us. I think I'm saying that right.
Volunteered us up.
Yeah. So anyway, you're part of the big Gemini AI programming experiment. So if you don't want to be part of that, we've given you instructions how to opt out. It's on a very detailed step-by-step article that I wrote for the newsletter. Long story short, subscribe to the newsletter, harrisrealestatedaily.com. A lot of different content. You're going to love it. It's free, harrisrealestatedaily.com. All right. Stop waiting, start hunting, 6 ways to find hidden homes for your buyers. Julie.
Yes. So be the hunter who finds the houses that other agents are missing. If your buyer drip campaign, you know how I love that term, drip campaign has slowed to a trickle, you're not alone. In today's market, listings can be scarce depending on where you are. Some of you have more inventory than others, but buyers can be impatient, especially the buyers who are most motivated. And agents who wait for the MLS to just deliver on up the perfect home are losing clients to those who are going hunting for opportunities. Fact, the longer it takes to deliver what your buyers want, the less faith they have in you. If you've ever been ghosted by clients you've shown homes to, this could be why. So ask yourself, and I do use this on coaching calls, are your buyers being more proactive than you are? Are they visiting open houses? Are they knocking on doors? Are they talking directly to builders? Tim, you and I occasionally get postcards from buyers, not from their agents, from buyers looking in our community. When you're ready to sell, I'm looking right there in your neighborhood. Call me today. I'm desperate for a home, right? So are your buyers being more proactive than you are? If so, you've got to change the game because finding the right home is like going on a safari. What you're hunting for could be scarce, but it's often hiding in plain sight. You just need to be sharper, use better tools, and a more proactive mindset. So today, because we know that your main tool is your MLS, in spite of the fact that through Ethical Real Estate Professional, we give you 19 other ways to find inventory other than just your MLS. But today we're focusing on your MLS. We're going to help you use new strategies to track down the right home faster and keep your buyers not just loyal, but in contract. Make sense, Tim?
Point number 1, re-examine your buyer's true wants and needs. Before you widen their search, dig deeper. Ask them what it truly, what So I'll give you guys a real life example. You're going to get a lot of buyers that are showing up in your life that are going to say things like, "I'm looking for a great deal," or they're going to say, "I want 5 acres." We used to hear that all the time when
I
we
want some
sold.
land.
Exactly. I want some land, right? And so you listen to what they say, and if you're inexperienced, frankly, you're going to not know what to do, and you're going to end up showing them property, which is hard to find, which that have big parcels, maybe even an acre or 5 acres that they never end up buying, right?
Or worse, you'll set up a drip that will never find that because they're also looking for a really kick-ass school district, and there isn't anything with 5 acres there.
So when you hear someone, for example, and there's lots of things that buyers say, you need to, like, they'll say, for example, "I'm looking for a really good deal." And you need to say, "Okay, I appreciate that you're looking for a really good deal." A lot of folks say that to me. What does a really good deal mean to you? And then you need to shut up and listen. And your assumption that the really good deal meant they're going to buy the house at half off and, take advantage of the seller was completely wrong. Because a really good deal to the buyer probably meant they can easily move from where they're living now into their next home, or not a lot of work to do to the property. In other words, sounds like they're great candidates for new construction.
Or not have to pay 10% over list price.
Exactly. So a great deal, ask them what that means. Or getting back to the land example, "I'm looking for 5 acres because I just want to have privacy and whatever, whatever." Well, so are you looking, just so that I'm clear, and you can kind of make this as a joke, so you're looking to spend every weekend, every second of every weekend, basically cutting grass? Is that your plan? And they'll say
Right.
no. And I'll say, "Well, so are you saying that you want a huge parcel of land, or you just want privacy? What is it?" Because those two things aren't necessarily the same thing. "Well, I want privacy." So in other words, if I find you a normal subdivision lot that's private, maybe it backs up to a reserve, maybe there's just some situation, the geography lends to having privacy in the backyard, that will be what you're after, right? Yes. Whereas an experienced agent would have wasted all their time, guess what? Showing things that the buyers would never buy because the buyers didn't really want 5 acres. They just wanted privacy, but you didn't drill down more and ask better questions. And so let's go on to point number 2. Change strategy for buyers who won't compete. Jolie?
That's right. If your buyers can't or won't play in multiple offer territory, and mostly in most markets right now, that's in the first time buyer land, but sometimes it's other places. Search for listings that have been sitting 30, 60, 90 plus days. In some markets, Texas, Florida, maybe 180 days. Those sellers are far more likely to negotiate, especially if they don't have any active offers on the table right now.
Old
You can
expireds
also,
too.
go ahead.
Old expireds.
Yeah, old expireds, older expireds, even for sale by owners that have been languishing,
Well,
but include, go
new
ahead.
construct. No, well, I'm just thinking, Julie, your
Yeah,
list. I mean, there's my brain is filling with
that's the
different
next
things.
sentence. Builder specs, back on the market
Exactly.
homes.
Right. Well, because
Yeah,
yeah, sorry. So builder specs, that's a huge opportunity. Builders are going to have not listed properties that the buyers have backed out on, or spec, which stands for speculation. There's going to be a lot of builder specs that are going to be in the market that if you ask the builders about, they're going to not have them on their list of inventory. You're going to walk into some of these new construction homes, builders, and they're going to give you a list of their deliver or, available now or whatever they're going to call it, homes. But there's another list that, the houses are going to be available in 60 or 90 days, which might work out perfectly for the timing of your buyer, but you won't get it unless you ask.
yes. And top tip on that, on the ones that are new spec homes, right? The builder didn't build it intending for it to be a spec. Somebody didn't qualify, they backed out, they lost their job, whatever, where it's like 90% built. Builders don't like having that. A lot of times they'll actually put bonuses, realtor bonuses, on sell it this month, and they're going to pay an extra 1% or something like that. So keep an eye peeled for those. The next point is new construction, but in a different way. If you're not finding what your buyers are wanting, add new construction, even if they've said no thanks. Maybe they've never even seen new construction. They don't know what's possible. I had a client of ours in Canada whose average sale price is about $1.5 million, who was not finding the right inventory. He asked his buyer if they would consider new construction. You know what they said? "Well, I have to have a neighborhood that has sidewalks." They thought that it was just like a cornfield that had been, plowed over and then houses sprouted up without any trees, without any landscaping. This guy was in an over $1 million price range. Of course, there's going to be a landscaping package, but he had a misperception about new construction and what it was. So remember, go show it anyway. You can say, "You know what? I got to pop by this builder model. Why don't you come along and see what you think about it?" You don't have to make a big deal about it, but it gives your buyers a comparison point, and they might be swayed by those customization options, warranties, zero repair costs. We all know new construction smells good, it looks good. So, at least try that out. It might not be in your MLS.
In most parts of the country, for most buyers, it will be 90% of them, when given the option, will prefer new construction over resale. And there's going to
Yes.
be more new construction that's going to be coming available. It's going to be part of the new Make Housing Great Again, which we think Trump's going to call it. There's going to be so many incentives from the government to give incentives to the builders to start building and more affordable price ranges. We're going to be awash with opportunities for new construction. And again, this is not necessarily the best of news for resale, but we've talked a lot about that in Premier Coaching and what you can do to position yourself into 2026. Make sure you look, guys, we've been ahead of the curve. I hate sounding like that. Hate sounding like I'm bragging, but we have. Jules and I have been ahead of the curve for years, but really in the last 18 months, we've been nailing it as far as our predictions go with what's happening in housing. Listen to our past podcasts, especially one called Great Make Housing Great Again. Just Google it or go to our website, you'll find it. The moral of the story is the great housing recession is finally over. That's lasted 3 or 4 years. We're about to experience the great housing boom that's going to last probably 20 to 25 years. I am not talking Mickey Mouse. I'm giving you facts. Listen to the podcast we did about make housing great again, and you'll be equally as motivated and as excited as we are. Point number 4, get creative with school district boundaries. That's awesome. This was your next point. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I know. So if a particular school district is non-negotiable for some of your buyers, and there's different legit reasons for that, don't stop at the border though. Many districts do allow out-of-district enrollment for a tuition fee, sometimes as low as $1,000 per year. Call the district's enrollment office or use your AI to verify what their rules are. In other words, you can live outside the school boundaries, pay a little bit of tuition, and still enroll your kids in the desired school district. The savings from buying just outside the boundary, often with lower prices and taxes, can offset the tuition and even more, afford you even more housing options.
This is
when we
public
sold
schools.
in Columbus, everybody wanted Franklin County, whatever. You go to Delaware County, the taxes were less, the cost to buy was less, and they could pay a little bit to, take their kid to school, a half-hour drive, and you were there. At least consider it, right? A lot of agents don't even know that this is an option. Not all things are the same, so use your eye to find out.
And these are for this is for public schools, not private.
Yes.
That
Private doesn't care where you live.
Julie didn't necessarily drill down on that. Yeah, these are for public schools. So if you can take your buyer into that new construction area that's not in the same desirable school district, but if it's, it could be $1,000, $5,000, and the property tax savings is substantial, way more than what the tuition is that they're going to have to pay to get their kids in the more preferable private or public schools, then you're having your cake and eating it too, and you're doing something other agents didn't know how to do. And by the way, if you're dealing with new construction in your marketplace and the builder doesn't know about that little trick, it's
you
also
totally just read my mind on that. That's great.
Right. I mean, it's a very powerful way for you to start getting some of the builder's inventory as your own listings and form a really great relationship. If not for your listings, the new build rep is going to have probably 50 to 60% of all their buyers having properties to sell. And if you've just helped them to know how to sell their buyers, you guys getting the point here? Information is power more than ever before. Julie, it's going to point number 5. Use past clients and Sphere as your private MLS. What do you mean by that?
Okay, now this is a little bit easier for more experienced agents who have a lot of past clients and people in their sphere, but your database is a gold mine. Treat it like your own off-market inventory, your own personal MLS that you know only. Ask yourself, who do I know who owns a home matching my buyer's needs? Who's had a life change, relocation, divorce, baby number 3 that might be motivated to move? Who might sell if they knew what their home was worth? Reach out directly. Sometimes the best listings never hit the market. They're hiding in your phone contacts. Go ahead, Tim.
No, so that's it. So basically make sure Julie and I have talked a lot about the fact that all of you guys should be considering, we have a Beehive newsletter. And we've talked to you and we've written articles about how to start your own. If the platform's called Beehive. People ask us all the time, what's the greatest way to keep in front of your centers of influence and past clients? It's to call them, of course, and then create a 12-month centers of influence and past client plan. But a Beehive newsletter, and you can use AI to help you write articles for your Beehive newsletter, is an incredibly powerful tool. And then when you do have essentially a buyer who's looking for a specific type of property, you've got this very loyal newsletter subscriber list. Your newsletter is the land that you can build your mansion on What am I talking about? A lot of you have been rug pulled by social media and a lot of these other platforms, Zillow being the best example, because you built your business on land you did not own. You did not actually control what was going to happen to the lead flow. You did not actually control what was going to happen with, for example, whether the algorithm on Instagram was going to change again, right? You couldn't control any of it. You didn't know whether you're going to be rug pulled. A lot of you have experienced that numerous times. That won't happen with a newsletter. So if you're wanting to know what the ultimate app is for creating a very powerful, long-term, loyal center of influence and past client, I just told you list. It's forming a Beehive newsletter. If you guys are more, if you're interested in that and want us to write more and do more about that particular topic, message us over on Instagram. Just send us a direct message and let us know if that's your jam, and we'll create content around that. But that is a no-brainer. We're telling all of our high-end elite clients to urgently do their own Beehive newsletters rolling into the new year. The reason I prefer Beehive is because Julie and I have used MailChimp in the past. We've used Constant Contact. We've used all these other platforms, and Beehive definitely works the best, has the most flexibility. So there you go. All right, bonus point. Knock doors like a pro. Point number 6, Julie.
Okay, now we're not talking about random doors for no reason. We're talking about specific neighborhoods for your specific buyers. Print a simple wanted flyer describing your buyers. Wanted, your home for my pre-approved, or all cash if necessary, highly motivated buyers looking in 12 trees, at least 3 bedrooms, flexible closing date. You can do door hangers, you can do flyers, you can do postcards, you can go door to door. You are possibly going to find the right house for your buyers, but you're also going to uncover potential listing leads in the process. So if you're going to do that, be more targeted. I have lots of examples, as do you, Tim, of coaching clients that not just matched their buyer, but also picked up the next listings in those neighborhoods because they were proactive. So that could be some of your homework. But
where this really works is in the high end.
Surprisingly, right?
Yep. What the idea Julie just gave you, it's because, why does it work so well? Because most of frankly, the sellers are going to appreciate the fact that you're out there hustling. The neighbors will. Number 2, they're going to appreciate the fact that you're hustling, in their market, helping to get the home values up. Number 3, they're going to be thrilled to hear from you about what's actually happening as far as real buyer activity. You guys get it? And something else you don't think about, 99% of all first-generation millionaires in the U.S. have made their own fortunes. They didn't inherit it, despite what you might believe. And so they're going to, because they were having to hustle themselves to be able to afford that high-end home, they're going to appreciate the fact that you're out there knocking on their door, trying to work on behalf of their buyers, and also trying to do something to bring the property values up in their market. And they're going to, of course, love the fact that you're telling them that their neighborhood's highly desirable and do have CMA information, or at least market value information at the ready when you're there. All right, Julie, your homework is...
Yes, choose 3 active buyer clients. Some of you have even more, but implement all 6 of these strategies. Don't just pick and choose. Call them, update them, show them that you're hustling on their behalf. They don't know that you're outdoor knocking the neighborhood they want to live in unless you tell them. They could be wandering into new construction while you do that. You have to be communicating. Clients stay loyal to agents who are proactive, who are creative and communicative. The more visible your effort, the more irreplaceable, you will become. And I do harass my coaching clients all the time. I ask them, who are your buyers who are completely either all cash or loan committed or at least pre-approved, who are not contingent on home sale, who are only not in contract because you haven't done these things? That's your homework. That is your fastest ticket to your next commission, is when you're sitting on these buyers and they're just not in contract because you haven't been proactive enough and you're just waiting on the MLS drip to work out. That's what the topic of today's pod was about.
Absolutely. It's about getting off your butt. It's about doing what other people... Look, at the end of the day, it's about doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. It's about taking actions that other people won't. And it's just a mindset shift. Just go after what you're after. Don't wait for it to come to you. If you want to know what the secret of the secret was, is that you actually take action on what it is that you truly want, and you make the manifesting happen. You don't wait around for it to happen for you. That's the truth. Now, here's what I want you to do. If you guys really want to manifest having an amazing next year, join us for our upcoming masterminds. We're doing 3 of them. Go to harrismastermind.com. We're going to be solving for you the 3 biggest challenges. And guess what? The first one is lead generation that agents are having right now because of all the changes that are happening with AI. So go to harrismastermind.com. It's free. The link is down below. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, and we'll talk with you on the show tomorrow. Hello, thank you for having watched this video. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That's right. And don't forget to hit that like button, leave your comments and questions below, and we will get right back with you.
Thank you for watching this video. And remember to watch the next one. You're going to love that one.